Welcome to Miss V the Storyteller podcast. I am your host, Miss V the Storyteller, and I am so thrilled that you are still listening to these stories. I love sharing stories with you, and I'm so excited that you're here for another week. I hope you've had the opportunity to listen to the stories, the last few episodes. If you have not, please feel free to go over and listen to those episodes. Some of them are funny, some of them are heartfelt. Like today's story is a bit heartfelt story. There's some humor in it because that's just me, but it's a heartfelt story. And the name of the story is called I Needed Him. Mm, yes. So, before I get into the story, what I like for you to do, if you would please do me a favor and push the thumbs up button or the like button, leave a comment, leave a rating. In the comments, you just simply put, I love the story or been there, done that. Just something, short and cute, saying, letting me know that you're enjoying these stories. Okay. Also, subscribe and share. All right, let's get into the story. So, there was a time when it was just the three of us. I was number three, I was the baby, and I was different. I had an older sister, older brother, then there was me. When I came in the world, a sister came into the world fluffy. Unlike my two siblings, they were skinny, they were bold, popular. They were not like me. I was fluffy and shy and did not talk. So you can imagine how it was for me. Um, Luckily for me, on both sides of my house was family. Basically, in our neighborhood, there were family all over the place. On one side, it was my great aunt and her children, my cousins, and all that. So I did have someone to play with for the most part. Then on the other side, well, it was Miss Beamer. Miss Beamer was a lady who had been living in that house forever. Before I even was probably thought about, she had been living in that house. Now, the thing about Miss Beamer was, Miss Beamer, she had a chicken coop in the backyard, and she had them in those coops. I guess that's what you call them. And she had chickens. Any day, Miss Beamer would go outside and she would grab a chicken by his head and wring the neck, however you break the neck, take it in, and she had fried chicken for dinner. Also, Miss Beamer had a boyfriend. His name was John. Now, John only came over at night, and I mean late at night. So you know why John came over. You could hear them through the walls, y'all. You could hear them through the walls. And we thought Miss Beamer, Mr. John was old. And we also thought they was just too old to be doing that. Anyway, back to the story. So when me and my brother and siblings, we were in daycare together until they grew up and went to elementary school, which left me by myself. And then one day I came home to find my new baby brother. I had just gotten home from daycare and he was laying on the couch. My dad was unpacking the car, and I remember walking up to him, looking down at him, rolling my eyes, and walked away. I felt like this little dude is now taking my spot. I had been the baby, and now he is going to be the baby. Where did I fit in? I had an older sister, the oldest, an older brother, then there's me, and now the baby. I'm telling you, I felt like the middle child, and boy, did I have middle child syndrome. I didn't think anybody noticed me. They didn't think I was around. I felt like I was ignored. Oh my God. Woo. When my parents divorced, my mom began to work a lot, trying to make ends meet, which put my sister in charge. Now, we didn't get along because she did not want her baby sister following behind her, being in her little circle of friends. So we didn't get along. Then my older brother, who felt like he was the man of the house, was trying to tell everybody what to do. So, we didn't get along. And so it left me and my baby brother. And he felt the same way I did, but I was not the one to always tell him what to do. There was one little time when he was, being bad, and he rather for me to deal with him than they. So as we grew up, we becoming teenagers, we became thick as thieves. He loved me and he loved hanging around his big sister. There were times when I went to spend times with my aunties, but whenever I was home, he always wanted to hang around me. Now, as we got older and closer, our bond was so close, even to the point where he became my protector. This is when I realized that God sent him for me because he knew I was going to need someone. There was a time when I had a car, and my dad, he gave everybody a car. And I had my car, but unfortunately, my sister wrapped her car around a tree, and she was in college. My dad made me give my car to her so that she could get back and forth to school. My sister, let me tell y'all, my sister did everything with my car. She ran errands. She ran errands for my mom. She would take my mom places, and I was walking and catching the bus to school. Yes. She did everything except for come to pick me up from work when I worked nights at the grocery store. My younger brother, I didn't know that he was paying attention to the things that were going on. And he would ride his bicycle up to the grocery store, wait for me to get off, and then we would go home. We would walk home because he wanted to make sure that I got home safe. This little dude ended up being my protector, and I protected him. It was very hard for us, the parents going through separation and divorce. And there was a time when he ended up with my dad, and it was very difficult for him then. And he really began to pull on me. He needed me. Now, the whole time I was needing him, he was protecting me and, just saying positive things to me. And not, he would jump in sometimes when my older siblings would be on me. He was right there. But then the tables kind of turned and he needed me. One day I was at work and the doorbell rang in the building, and I answered the door, and he was standing there. And he said, I just want to talk to you. And I was like, oh, okay. And so he was sharing with me that he wanted to make sure what he was doing was the right thing to do, the situation. And I listened to him and I gave him encouragement. I was like, yes, that's exactly what you need to do. And I felt like, oh my God, first of all, he needs me. And I am the person that he came to. He didn't go to my mom. He didn't go to our dad, our older siblings. He came to me. And I was like, wow. All this time, I thought I needed him, but he needed me. I told him what he was doing was correct. I had his back. I gave him a hug and I sent him on his way. There was another time, by this time, I had moved out. And he was with my dad, and some things were going on, and he came over my house one night and he rang the doorbell, and I got up and I answered the door. I was watching TV, so I didn't have the lights on, only the TV was on. He came in and he didn't want me to turn the lights on. I think he had been crying and he just didn't want me to see it, but he was clearly upset. He came in the house and he went in the kitchen and he sat down. He said, don't turn the lights on. And I said, okay. And he was sharing with me that he had just run into his girlfriend's ex-boyfriend. And he was so angry because he wanted to put his hands on the ex-boyfriend. He was also upset because the girlfriend didn't say or do anything. So he was angry because he didn't do what he wanted to do. And I shared with him, I'm glad you didn't because you would be in jail right now. And I need you. I don't need you in jail. I need you here for me. And we talked and we hugged it out, and he got himself together and he went on his way. And he just didn't know how I felt knowing that he needed me. Fast forward to adulthood, the tables turn again. He's back into the place of me needing him a lot. He came in, and my mom, she was sick. And he came over one day and he was like, something's going on with mom. I really think you should go and check up on her and figure out what's going on. He felt, again, more comfortable with me. So I went and we found out that mom was sick. And because I had worked in a hospital for some years and I had, some connections, I ended up being the um, primary person, medical power of attorney over my mom. This caused some problems. My brother was with me through every time I was cussed out, every time I was doubted, every time I was hung up on, every time I was threatened, every time I wasn't supported. Those times when I had to make the hard decisions, my brother was there for me. He supported me. He called and checked up on me because during that time, it was all about mom and making sure she got all the help that she needed. And I didn't feel like anybody was there for me because when you're taking care of a loved one, it takes a lot out of you. And nobody really, in certain situations, oftentimes the main caretaker is left behind. They're the person that's making all the decisions. They're the persons that's doing all the running around and making sure everything is in order. And nobody checks on them. But not this incident. I needed him. And he was there, and he has always been there for me. Even now, he would call and check up on me and make sure I'm all right. And I'm sharing this story and these experiences with you because if there is somebody in your life that is always there for you, call them and tell them thank you. I share with him how I felt one day when he came over to help me with my yard. My yard had gotten out of whack. I'm telling you, the right shoulder was jacked up, the knees jacked up. So I couldn't do the yard like I normally would. And he came over, and my brother, let me tell you, he helped me with my yard. When he finished, I went and I hugged him and I told him, I said, do you know that God sent you specifically for me? Now, I know he has his own journey. I know he has his own he's in the earth for a reason. I know that, but I also know that God sent him for me. And when I told him that, he chuckled and did what he always did when I gave him a compliment. He would smile, chuckle, do a little laugh, and he walked away. And I said, for real, I know that God sent you for me, and I am grateful. I hope you enjoyed the story. I hope you enjoyed the part about when someone's in your life and you know that they were sent to be in your life for a reason, tell them thank you. Give them a hug. Support them just like they're supporting you. All right, friends. Again, I hope you enjoyed it. I want you to go out and love on that person. It could be your best friend. It could be a sibling. It could be just your husband. Love on those people because during this time, we need to be loving on people and having people to love on us. All right, friends. Again, push that thumbs up button for me. If you haven't listened to some of the older episodes from this season, please go back and listen to them. I need you to subscribe and share and put a comment in. I might read it. All right, friends, have an amazing day. Bye.